Joining me. If you didn't have the Instagram stream or whatever, there's so many media to follow. I said some crazy shit on Twitter. That is true. Not something I wanted to say, but I'm fucking tired of people lying. I have watched these people just lie and 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 lie, and they will never fucking tell the truth. So I'm here to tell the truth. Seth Green, sorry my man, fucking so sorry. I never wanted to do this, but you're a pedophile. James Gunn, 10,000 tweets, bro. You fucking kidding me? Like, what part of you thought, like, to not delete? What part of you thought it was like, whatever. Guys, the world is changing. The world is changing. We're entering into a new era for mankind, and it's gonna be hard for people. It's going to be difficult. It was hard for me. I had my heart broken into a million pieces, because when you trust someone, and when you trust someone and they're not who they seem, they just lie and they abuse and they fucking rape kids. Not cool. Like, it's heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. Like, it fucking destroyed me emotionally.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How is everybody? How am I? Well, I'm not good. Well, this will likely be my last broadcast. And it's going to be painful for all of you. It's going to be very painful. And I'm sorry. Telling you ahead of time. Just to let you know. I've spent the last 3 years enmeshed in finding the darkness in the world and uncovering the darkness in the world, but not enough time uncovering the darkness within me. And the dog said too, I made a really stupid, cynical, petty, stupid decision this week. And I did it in the blink of an eye. And with as much time as I've spent trying to mitigate risk, and there were a lot of people that I kept out of my life, that I wanted in my life, but I didn't want to bring harm to them because of all. And this struggle against darkness, consumed me. It consumed me. Yeah, I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad guy. I let the darkness consume me. And I didn't spend enough time nurturing the light and love within me.
Hey guys, it's Beaver. So, as you saw in the introduction, that is the man, the myth, Isaac Kappy. So, in this video, and funny enough, let me say this. So, I was sitting down, because I got on my research app, I was sitting down to record, and I literally, something came up, I clicked on the little link, And I started watching a little bit of this video, and then it dawns on me that I am not going to be able to cover everything in this Isaac Kappy video, that I'm going to have to do it in parts. It's a lot of layers, and it's a lot of ground to cover. This right here, what we're looking at, and let me say this too. You know, y'all saw the intro. This is when he first came out, and we're going to go and look at his mission and what he was about, and we're just going to look at, we are going to examine Isaac Kappy. The good, the bad, and, you know, the indifferent. But mainly his death and his mission is my two biggest goals throughout these, hopefully, 2-part series. I'm going to make them short, probably 15 minutes a piece. I know people lose their mind after so long. A lot of people do. Anyways, so, and I'm going to try this. Hopefully the members like it. If I can get some, you know, good response, maybe sometimes I'll put these on the regular channel, but, you know, some of this stuff is not for everybody. It'll get me flagged. You know, I don't even know how it's going to work with the members. But I think we'll be good. And I'm going to try to keep it as, you know, get you banned from YouTube as I possibly can. So, without further ado, let's just hop into this. So, this format's also a little different. So, y'all just bear with me. So, this right here, this is from the Phoenix Enigma. And he has been phenomenal. And right now, that way, y'all can on your own time if you would like. If you're interested in this, let me say to the member that I haven't spoke to about this video, if this is not for you, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put out different stuff. But I do talk about, you know, I am more intrigued by different things other than, you know, just children and missing people. You know, like these type of videos, Isaac Kappy, the Seth Riches, those type of stories, they're not provable. So for me, disclaimer, that is the main reason why a lot of times I'm not going to put these type of stories on my main channel. They're not provable. People look at you sideways, and my mission with children and advocacy with that and victims and voiceless is more important, because those, you know, those are okay to be solved. Those cases most of the time are allowed to be solved. These type of cases are not allowed to be solved. They're not allowed to be figured out. And we have to look at them. We have to look at these cases with the, you know, we have to look at everything. You know, why are these cases unsolvable is why I'm so fascinated. Without further ado, let's hop in. Sorry for that little disclaimer. I may even edit it out. I'm not sure yet. So, all right, let's hop in. The second one will be a lot more polished. This is just a new line of videos for me. So, anyways. All right, so this right here comes from the Phoenix Enigma. He did a fabulous job with this. Fabulous job. And this right here, it just, you can go through and you can scroll down, and it just, it's all of his mission. Look, Famalam, everything. Occult rituals, his Australia. I mean, everything Isaac did. I mean, he did so good. Now I'm going to show you right now how to get to this page, and you can go through yourself. There's no possible way that I can put all of this information, this beautiful research. I'll never be able to. But I did receive permission to use this, whatever I wanted to use of his. We corresponded back and forth. It was great for a minute, you know. But he was gracious enough, and he says this information is for the world. So I'm going to show you right now how to get to it. So what you'll need to do is you'll go type in the phoenixenigma.com, and it will take you this page right here. It'll take you to this page, phoenixenigma.com, and then you will scroll down halfway. Well, he says halfway, but depending on what you're on. And you'll see Isaac Kappy mind map. Let me hit that a little bit. There you go. Isaac Kappy mind map. You click right here, mind map. And voila, you have your mind map. This is amazing. He did a beautiful job. Corey did a great job. And he's great. He does a lot of other stuff. Go check him out, Phoenix Enigma. And I am just taken away at all this research. How beautifully crafted and time consuming this had to have been. So, great job. So right now we're going to hop into the timeline and we are going to look at Isaac's mission. And we're just going to go through some of these things. I'm going to show y'all some things, and some things are going to make you uncomfortable. Let's see. Now this was his, I think this was like his first, one of his first tweets. Do you want to live in a world of peace and prosperity and abundance? A world where a human spirit tackles the challenges of the cosmos? Or do you want to live in a world where violent pedophiles use us, abuse us, rape and kill our children? That's a lot. That's a stiff statement right there. This type of stuff is taken such a back. I tell you what, I followed Isaac Kappy because I started following a lot of underground stuff about, you know, rings and, you know, celebrities and things of that nature. And I gotta say, my journey to the truth, I have to question everything. I had a real high, and then I was like, everything's a lie, everything's a lie. And then I had to balance, and then not everything can be a conspiracy, not everything can be a lie. So, and then you taper. Isaac Kappy jumped on the scene in a great way. And it, you know, in a questionable way too. And I've always wondered why we couldn't just have like a mainstream person come out and say these things. Why does it take somebody who their credibility is going to be questioned? His career was kind of on a slump when he came out. In the video that y'all saw, the intro or the beginning of the video, that was his very first Periscope video where he just announced. And the second part of it is his last video, and he died 4 days later. So let's just go and take a look at some more about what Isaac was doing. And let's just talk about the rise. So let's run through some of this timeline. So on July 22nd, 2018, Isaac first tweeted about Seth Green, accusing him of being a pedo. July 23rd, 2018, Isaac Kappy drops the dime on Seth Green on Periscope and Instagram live streams, which is part of what you saw in the beginning of the video. July 23rd, 2018, Thomas Schrogenberger gets in contact with Isaac via Twitter. July 24th, 2018, Nathan Stallman of Lift the Veil first mentions Isaac Kappy. His initial impression of Kappy was that he was high as a kite. Nathan doesn't seem to take him seriously. So, and let me comment on this. So, I, at the time, watched, and I still do when they put out a video, Lift the Veil. And they just kind of, you know, just talk about truther stuff, different, you know, not necessarily flat earth, stuff like that, but just, you know, what you would say, truther stuff. Underground type stuff, economic stuff, you know, stuff like that. Stuff, you know, the general people are supposed to go shh about. So, anyways, so Kappy just, he literally was catapulted himself onto the scene. And I will show y'all a little bit of the Nathan Stallman video. Let's read a little bit more of this, and I want to cover something else. Nathan, let's see. On July 30th, Isaac appears on Lift the Veil with Nathan Statham. August 1st, 2018, Isaac goes on Alex Jones' InfoWars and talks about Seth Green and Claire Grant. So, I was going to show a clip of the Alex Jones, but then it registered, no, he was banned from YouTube, so automatically it'll be pulled down. But in the description, I will link a page where y'all can go watch that full 9-minute interview that he does with Kappy. Alex is somewhat dismissive, and I don't know. And by this time, I mean, Isaac is just kind of, I don't know, he does have a grandiose air about him, but he does, I think he's just eccentric and he's genuine. Holy crap, my phone just went off. It scared me to death. So this is a little bit of the video with, now it's an hour and 20 minutes long. I will also link that in the description below. This is Lift the Veil, Nathan Stallman. He randomly posts now maybe once a month, if that. But this particular video has, over 300,000 something hits. So, I mean, it was pretty popular. This Isaac Kappy story's got a huge underground following, as some of you may know. So, let's just watch a little bit of this. And he's just kind of talking about Hollywood and the scene and why he doesn't have any qualms about coming out.
Kind of blasé about. Oh, here we are.
Yeah, here we go.
Why I feel so blasé about just calling out Spielberg? It's because they don't want to fight it. They don't want to take it to court. Like notice with Seth Green. Okay, I made these accusations.
Now, let me say this too. The deal with Seth Green and Claire, he was very good friends. In fact, he was friends with a bunch of celebrities, not, kind of, lower grade celebrities. But Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter, was one of them. Seth Green, Claire Grant, Seth Green's wife. And there was just like a bunch of, lower budget per se, actors. But they would have like a game night. There's a story that we're going to look into a little bit of, because he managed to land himself on TMZ. Isaac did, for choking Paris Hilton, which was just a whole nother crazy thing. And also, I want to say too, a lot of this information also that I've learned about was from Deshaun Atwood. He has a YouTube channel. He's completely been banned from the USA for life. That's how hardcore he is about seeking out truth. And he's very, he's been following the Epstein case extremely close. I mean, just in general, he's a great channel, and I will link his channel below also. So let's just watch a little bit of this video.
Which are, by the way,
Hellfire. I didn't even say the whole reason that I paused it. The deal with Seth Green and Isaac, he was eating dinner with them, and story goes is that Isaac said something about, do you like chicken? Something about chicken. Now that's supposedly code word for children. And he had made a comment that's behind this little secret door in his house, that's where the kitties, that's where they hide the kids. Well, Isaac just kind of laughed it off. And then apparently he sees this room. It's set up like a kid's room. They do not even have children. And then like he, tells him, we are into kids. Like, I guess at some point they thought he was safe. It was okay. I will say this too. Isaac does have a sketchy past. He was an actor, and he did play in a movie. He played a pedo. That doesn't, take it for what it's worth. He's an actor, part of his job. It is, there are things that will turn you off from this story. But what intrigues me are not the things that turns me off. It is the things that can't be answered. So, let's watch this.
Awful and devastating accusations, okay? To accuse someone of harming children is an awful, awful accusation. There was no response until like maybe a week later, and I still haven't heard like a decent response.
Let me just, the only response.
There's definitely no legal response. Like if someone accused me of harming children, well, I would call them that very day if I had their phone number. I'd be like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, please don't do that." Which that didn't
Valid
happen.
point.
And if that didn't work, I would find a lawyer and be like, "Yo, like, make this stop."
Now, another big part of it, and personally a turn off for me, one of the reasons I started pulling away from this narrative, not that I don't believe it, it's just it took a whole different space that I don't feel it never should have. And QAnon, the bane in the truthers' existence. QAnon has been awful, in my opinion, for the truther movement. I think he's been awful, incredibly malicious, and he's just made truther. It's a complete difference between real truthers and people that follow QAnon, and that in my opinion, for me. And everything can't be attached to the government. The government is part of the lie. So to think that you have an inside person feeding the public information, why would we not question it? Why has nobody ever been brought to light? If this is really something nefarious, I think it's all been a joke. But Isaac Kappy followed it religiously. So let's continue.
Because this is horrible, and I'm not into that. But none of that. And that's what I keep pressing upon people. Like, use your brain. Okay, use your brain. Like, why haven't any of those things happened?
It's a reasonable argument to a lot of people, and I'm just showing the only response I'm aware of from Seth Green. You say you haven't heard anything from him, personally or legally.
I would like to interject. Someone showed me an Instagram post where he was like, "What accusations? Who's accusing me?" I'm like, bro, I've been getting texts from mutual people. I'm pretty sure you know what's going on. And it's just like this evasiveness. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, so I'm going to read the response here, and I'm showing it on my screen. He responded to people who are effectively trolling him, you could say, on Instagram, telling him he's a pedo or that he has to answer questions about it. And Seth Green responded to one of them, "Tell me again," and this was only 2 days ago. This story's, everybody knows about this story.
Yeah,
there's no way he wouldn't know about it, considering it's about him and people are telling him about it. He says, "Tell me again the allegations and who is making them. What proof you've seen that makes you actually ask me such an absurd and offensive question in my comments? Don't be a part of the problem." So few things about that is he doesn't deny it. Strangely enough, if it were me, and maybe other people can relate to this.
Exactly.
I would come out and say, "No, I'm not."
No, right, absolutely.
That is the number one thing you would do. Furthermore, if you heard that about yourself, you would call immediately, and that's why I did the kind of the thing at Comic-Con. I was like, "Hey, if you want to call me a liar, come and do it to my face."
Yeah. So tell me this then. You haven't heard from him. When is the last time that you've spoken with Seth or Claire?
I don't know. We've been on a group chat with a bunch of people, so that was probably the last time.
Well, how long ago?
I would have to look that up.
If you had to guess, was it 6 months, a year?
Probably less than that on the group chat.
Okay. So less than a year ago, you've been in touch with him. You mentioned to
3 months or so.
Maybe even that close. Okay. You mentioned to me that you were already getting some backlash because people thought you were going to talk out or you were turning on the group. Did I hear you right when you said that?
Yeah, well, they had the offer in, like, "Hey, join us." Like,
tell us about the offer. Yeah, tell us about the offer.
Well, let's get back to that, but I'll address the question first. So, obviously, I didn't want any part of, that sort of a deal. So, they
about
were
abusing children.
I saw things happening, and I saw people like suddenly just like not talking to me. I'm like, okay, I think I know what's going on here.
Not talking to you because you turned down whatever the offer was.
No. Well, them not talking to me, yeah, but other mutual friends who aren't involved, who because when you have some people and you're like, hey, let's not. By the way, let's kind of push this message of like Isaac is. I don't know, whatever they're saying.
Well, there must have been a reason for that. So they felt you were not going along with what they were going along with, and was this all your friends, including Dane Cook and all the people I see in the pictures?
Well, it wasn't so. Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I was kind of isolated.
Dane Cook, by the way, is dating like an
I can't really
very
be
young girl
specific
right now.
about what the reasons were because it's pure speculation.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've talked to Dane like here and there, like little texts and stuff. So.
Okay. Okay. So you're not. You started to drift away from the group. Maybe you started behaving a little bit differently than was.
Did start behaving a little differently.
And why is that?
Well, when you have knowledge of something really bad, there's reason for people to do bad things to you.
Right. And what was that knowledge? Was that about Seth?
Yeah,
Seth
about
Green? Okay, so let's get to that then. This is the most important thing to me is, so you said a few different things. You said that Seth Green, at one point when you're over at his house, and you're, how close, let's talk about that first.
Sure.
How close friends would you say you were?
We were real close. I was actually more close with Claire than I was with Seth, but yeah, we would hang out, a lot. I would see them like usually once a week, if not more.
You'd go over to their house, you guys would have...
And then they would come over to Dane's for the game night, which I invited them to the game night. I was the one that reached out when Dane was starting the game night, and I was like, hey, you guys should come by, and that's one of the things that like makes me so pissed off, because I was the one that like reached out, and then I just felt really betrayed.
Okay, so yeah, so you're friends, and are you pretty good friends with Dane Cook?
We haven't hung out so much lately, but we've been close, yeah.
Right. I know. I noticed more pictures of you with Dane Cook than with Seth and Claire, actually. So I was curious. So he started having a game night. You guys all started hanging out together. Okay. Then the story goes something like this: you're at his house, hanging out with him and his wife, and...
Hey, so that's it for part one of the Isaac Kappy. I was doing the editing, and then I realized that it was already almost close to 30 minutes long. So what's on the screen right now is we're going to be going over a little bit of the craziness that, turned me off to Isaac, because there was a point to where I was like, yeah, I'm not signing up for this. This is nuttiness, and it became too much over the top for me. A little showboaty, but this picture that you're seeing right now, this is just pretty much the days and the day of his death, supposable death, real death, whatever y'all want to call it. But it's pretty wild, and I'll give y'all just a little, disclaimer. Some of y'all who watch Sean Atwood probably already know this, but I would say a couple months, maybe a month before his death, there was a homeless guy that came into town who looked identical to Isaac Kappy, and then he dies. But the truth is he was on record somewhere else at the time where this supposable doppelganger in the same city was looking like him. Just some weird stuff. So we're going to go through it, and I'm sorry, the second video will be a little bit more polished. So that's it for now, and I'll be putting out part two probably, let's see, I'm partially through recording. So it'll probably be about Wednesday or Thursday, maybe a week from this video. All right, guys, just bear with me. This is like, I'm not used to talking about this kind of stuff, so I'm a little all over the map. At least not on camera. I'm not used to talking about it. Anyways, I hope y'all like it. If y'all do, let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for being a member. And I just love y'all so much. Thanks.